Speedboatmaniac 410 coming at you. Man, all I have to say is it's getting cold. We're here in Maryland and it's the middle of December and we knew it was coming, but man, I don't know where August and September goes, but here we are. It's cold out. And just a couple little things I was going to touch base about. I had, as you guys already know, before I took the boat out last time, I had, let's see, let's try these glasses. These are the ones, the salt never was cleaned off of these when I brought the boat back. I don't usually wear sunglasses, unless obviously the sun's out. But my eyes are a little tired today. Sometimes they get water and they get irritated. And just want to be comfortable. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. So, I just wanted to touch base about, they taste salty like the bay, about winterizing the boat. And again, it's just a driving video log, guys, just running up the road to look at some jobs today that have nothing to do with boating, but have to do with just the ordinary part of life, making a living. And well, that's real nice. The whole lens just popped right out. Pay attention to the road. I want a bunch of distracted driving. Might have to pull over to fix this one. Wow, she really broke pretty good. Alright, so we're back. My eyes are a little bit more comfortable. So anyway, touch base with you guys about winterizing the boat for specifically a high performance boat like mine, that has carbureted motors and a lot of horsepower. And again, all the boats nowadays, whether it's outboard or inboards or high performance motors or V8s, V6s or whatever, everyone is dealing with this ethanol problem. But what they do with race boats at Lily's, when they put a boat up for layup and they winterize them, what they usually do is run race fuel from the lines going to the carburetor. And I'm not sure if they do pre-fuel filter, because there are remote fuel filters on my boat. A lot of fuel filters are mounted somewhere, not that they're not remote or on the engine or mounted somewhere on the firewall or somewhere on the bulkhead, but I don't know if they run race fuel through that area either. But they also treat the fuel, and I treated the fuel with an enzyme treatment also. But they do run some kind of racing fuel, like 110 or 116 octane, whether it's VP racing fuel or Cam 2 or just what. They run that through the actual fuel system, let the engines run with it, so all of that kind of fuel is in the carburetors, in my case. In other cases, they're in the fuel injections and in the fuel rails and by the fuel injectors and things like that. That way, if there's any ethanol related fuel, it's all pumped out and just race fuel has gone through it, so it doesn't attract the moisture that the new ethanol fuels do over the past 5-6 years that we've been having this marine problem with fuel, with ethanol attracting moisture, especially when you're laying a boat up for, you know, 3, 4, 5 months at a time. From here in Maryland, it's generally for the performance boat sector of boating, it's usually, you know, from October-ish through probably April. Some guys obviously go to May. So that's what I do. So I let them winterize the boat. Obviously, Alan had already changed the port side impeller seat pump, just a rubber insert part and the gaskets and all that, to see if it would give me any improvement. But I wasn't able to take it on a full-blown, balls out, if you will, sea trial up and around Kent Island for a good 45 minutes and really run it hard to see what we were doing on water pressure and water temperature on the port motor. I'll just have to take a look at it when the weather breaks in April and see where we go from there. So, and the other things they obviously do is they fog out the engines. They fog them out with Marvel Mystery Oil is how Alan described he does it. So they obviously are running the engine while they're pulling in this, if you want to, you know, call it like an aspiration of Marvel Mystery Oil that's, you know, got fog in it, so that all of these cylinders are coated really well inside, so that any standing water, maybe in the headers or in the heads, if there happens to be a leak, even on brand new boats they're concerned about this, they make sure they're fogged out. The other thing is on the manifold rail that's underneath of the headers, some of them have little blue twist tube removable caps that you can take. They have like a little wing nut tip on the end. You can unscrew them. Some of them are a square tip or Allen head key. I don't know if they're 1/4 inch or 5/16, and you back them out on all four. Both engines have two, one on each side for each header at the bottom. So you drain the water in the actual header, primary, and collector, anything that's above where it's not going to pitch out the back of the boat. That drains out the back of the boat naturally, and then this part would stay there if you do not pull those plugs. So they pull those plugs. But they do run marine style antifreeze, like the pink RV/marine antifreeze, through the motor, through the water pump, so the whole engine block has antifreeze in it as it is sitting over the winter. Now, I was told this was years ago, by a couple of mechanics at All Pro Marine before they closed. They were a fountain dealer right here on Kent Island, where I bought my 27-foot fountain. They told me, you know, I would always get all upset. Hey, man, we got to winterize the boat. We got to winterize the boat. Hurry up, you know. It was like, I don't know, first week of December, and we were getting a couple cold snap days. The guy told me, he said, just relax. You know, we have to have 2 or 3 straight days of freezing weather, daytime and nighttime, for 24 hours straight. So that'd be a collective, obviously, 48 hours straight of below 32-degree weather, and maybe even 3 days straight of 32-degree weather before it affects freezing anything that's going to cause any serious harm or harm at all. And I don't know, I kind of shook my head. I was like, I don't know if I believe that or not, but I do understand the engines are, you know, in and around, but it all depends on the environment you're in, if the wind's blowing, if it's a little cold or whatever. But so I get a little bit, like a little concerned. Oh, we got to winterize them, man, you know, December's coming. And next thing you know, we have like 4 45-degree days in a row. And, you know, it's best to be prepared. So, you know, you got to do it according to the environment you're in and the area that you're in, and make sure that your boat doesn't freeze. Your fuel is winterized. Your block is antifreeze winterized. And the other thing is that your drive oils are drained and refilled, especially if, you know, you're getting moisture in them. Mine particularly are not getting moisture in them. I think the one has a different color to it. Alan told me we got to keep an eye on it, but he didn't say flat out, you know, it's got water in the outdrive. We're talking about the port outdrive. The starboard one just got seals put in it. So they always drain all of the outdrive fluids and replace them, because if there's any water in the outdrives, even though there's oil in there too, it separates. The water goes to the bottom because it's heavier. It's not as buoyant as oil. Oil kind of floats to the top of the outdrive in the case itself, in the upper and lower part of the case. So if you have water and you let it sit for a while, it's going to gather at the bottom. When you pull the plug, you'll see water come out right away, and then it'll start turning milky when it drains. So they changed the drive oils on these out drives as well, because what will happen, obviously, to an aluminum case, if it's got water in the bottom of the out drive, it is going to cause damage down around your prop shaft, because it freezes and contracts and expands, whether it's ruining bearings or races or seals or cracking something. Ice is very strong as it starts expanding when it freezes. So they do an out drive oil change, gear oil change in your out drives. And of course, if you have a toilet or a head, you know, they run it through that, and a water system. I haven't used a water system on my boat since I've had it. It's been dry. So there's a sink and a toilet downstairs in the cabin. We didn't have to do any of that because there's no water down there. We didn't run water through my water system since I've had the boat in the past couple of years. So no need for me particularly to run antifreeze through my freshwater system, the sink and the toilet. So we didn't do that for the head and the sink. So, you know, and I'm sure I'm missing some other things, but that's basically what they do, and make sure the boat is just ready to be able to sit with a either cover on it, a full cover with the cockpit cover, or shrink wrap the boat. I don't shrink wrap my boat because I have a full cover. But every once in a while, if I get somewhat of a nicer day and I'm curious about how the boat's doing, I can roll back my full cover and unsnap my cockpit cover, climb down in there, look around. Now, we do put no damps in there also. I have 3 or 4 no damp buckets that I put the no damp little crystals in, the white little pellets. But I always put a turkey pan underneath of them and the bucket in there with them, just in case they happen to crack. I had one crack before on my 27, and it did not have a turkey pan underneath of it because I wasn't aware that it was going to get so cold and bad and whatever. And 2 or 3 months later, I go to unsnap the cover in March and April, and my whole V-berth upholstery was completely ruined. The vinyl was completely ruined because the no damp had collected so much water in it, almost 4 or 5 inches of water in it. All the pellets were gone, and it had cracked the plastic bucket and was all over the V-berth, and it cost like $600 and $700 to redo the vinyl on the V-berth 10 years ago. So anyway, we put no damps. I put 1 in the V-berth, in the cabin or down on the carpet, turkey pan underneath of it, 1 in the cockpit between the seats and the driver and the passenger seats in the front, right on the floor on a turkey pan, and then I put 1 in the engine compartment on a turkey pan somewhere, probably right where the battery area tray is, the diamond plate, right in front of my starboard motor. So you got 4 areas to collect moisture from the air, because moisture will get in there. Again, if you have them shrink wrapped, fine. If you don't, then you have a canvas cover. Moisture still does breathe and get in and out. So, you know, moisture does get into the boat and into the cabin and cockpit area. So basically that's it, guys. You know, I just wanted to kind of touch base with you. It might be a little while between videos, unfortunately. We're looking forward to maybe in January or February doing a trip down to North Carolina when the Fountain team at Iconic Marine tried to break the new, or make a new record with the V bottoms. I might go down there to Washington, North Carolina and do a video then, but you know, we might do a couple other things too, guys. I'm just trying to keep you guys up to date, let you know what's going on. And if you like this video and you like any of the other videos, watch the playlist to catch up on some of the other videos that I've done. And if you like them, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody, and comment down below. So I appreciate all y'all's patronage in this past 6 or 7 months of starting this new YouTube channel. I think we're up to like 75 subscribers now. Woohoo! guys next time. You have a good day. Speedboat Maniac, always coming at you. We'll see you. God bless. Yeah, guys, so the other thing that I skipped and didn't mention with regard to winterizing the boat, or any boat, high performance or not, is the engine oil should be changed before you lay a boat up. Because if there's any contaminants, which most engine oil have contaminants in them after you run them for a while, I don't care how great of an engine you got, whether you got 2, 3, or 20 hours on an engine, or 200 hours on an engine. I should hope you change the oil more than every 200 hours. Then testing, 1, 2, 3. So if you have run your boat for more than, 20, 30, 40 hours, it's very important to change your engine oil and filters also before you winterize them. Because if there's any contaminants, which there usually are contaminants in oil after you've run the engine. What kind of contaminants exactly? Just block contaminants, maybe fuel or moisture contaminants, or just anything that would get in the oil that's not running through the filter as it's sitting, over time in the winter time. I'm not saying it's gonna, cause something to rust or pit or whatever, but that's the reason that you would remove all the old oil, put new oil in it along with the new filter, and you're running that through the engine because it's fresh. It is Dougie fresh, new oil, and you would always do your engine oil, engine filters, fuel filters, drive oils, and maybe just top off and check your rest of your oils, like your power steering oils and things like that. So basically that's all we're talking about, is just winterizing your boat, making sure it's in good shape, and so that when you go to fire it up, for the most part, 90% of the time, you don't have a bunch to be concerned about when you first go to start it up come the new season. No matter when your season is, whether it's April, May, or you're a long waiter and you wait till June to crack it off, you know that your boat's going to fire up because it's a good deal. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next time. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video if you liked it, comment and share, and watch the playlist for other videos that I've posted. And we'll see you guys next time. We appreciate you coming along, and God bless.